So, welcome to this small video about diversity. Well, it's a little bit different than most of the videos I've made so far. This video is not based on some classical theory, but on some logics from our data analysis. Well, that's one of the topics that I'll be getting more into in the coming weeks, years, so forth. What I wanted to illustrate is why it's interesting to have a talk about diversity in your teams, diversity in your organization. The concept is that we have a team of some people. If these teams come with the same background, the same history, the same gender, and so forth, the white man, like myself, well, then we have a certain way of thinking, or we have a thing that we could say we can imagine at a certain level. We can imagine from here to here. We then meet at a point in time. This point in time is now. What we can imagine is based on our past. And what we want to imagine is, of course, what happens out here in the future. So I've tried to find this small ruler to exemplify things a little bit. What we will then say is that, hey, based on our past, we can now imagine a future with these parameters. So this is what we can imagine. Probably the future will be something like that. That's our probable future. Something could be possible or down here also possible. What we then see is that, would it make sense to add some diversity to our team? Would it make sense to add, just for the sake of it, a woman? So with this woman added, we get a different perspective. We get a different background, and we get a different potential future. All the way down here, way out of our current view. Well, what can that be? Why could that help us? Because we said, hey, this is our possible future, probable future, and these are our possible. Hey, some things has changed over the last couple of years. How many had expected COVID? Was that either the probable future, or was that our possible future? For many of us, not really. So maybe we're down here in a different possible future. Now we actually needed to have something created, something imagined for our company to deal with. In the same way, well, we're talking a lot about inflation these days. Getting a guy on our team who in the past experienced inflation. I know what inflation is. I know it from a cognitive point. I've had it in school. I've taught inflation. I've taught effects of inflation, but I haven't really felt it. And it's quite different to feel it when you go to the gas station and have to pay twice what you had to pay for just a few years ago. Now we have a different person on the team, and we suddenly get, again, a different possible future, or a different way of imagining. So now we have all the way up here and all the way down there out of our current scope. Suddenly we're not looking at a very narrow probable future here, but we have a full scale of possibilities. Remember, we're still having 3 persons in our team. We still have a 3-person group, but because we have a diversity in our past, we can imagine more things in the future. We have a better probability of reaching the possible futures, at least just because we can imagine it, and well, not running out into a scenario, strategic or otherwise, where we couldn't expect it, we couldn't see it coming. Because if we couldn't see it coming, we couldn't make preparations for it, we could not make things. I'm not saying that we should be naive and just pull in any random person from the street, but diversity of the past will give more opportunities in the future, more bandwidth, so to speak, to work with when we imagine our products, markets, and customers. I think a guy once said that the future is already here. It's just normally distributed, which also means that the future that we see out here, well, most people can imagine the probable future here. Not many people can imagine this one up here. Somebody is already experiencing this future. Other people will come to it at a later point. Well, can we include some of that future into our business setup? Well, then we're much more prepared. We're much more safe in our business dealings. Thank you for watching this small video. I hope it exemplified a little bit of what I've talked about in my small LinkedIn article as well. So see you in another video, right?